Good day everyone, Dr. Polaris here. The Koolakamba is purported to be a hybrid species of two different apes, namely chimpanzees and gorillas. This alleged hybrid species has been reported in Africa as early as the mid-19th century, though to date no empirical evidence has been found to substantiate the existence of this creature. The Koolakamba was referenced in the mid-19th century in French works by Franquet, and in some descriptive work by Du Chaillu, some of which was republished in 1968 under the title Explorations and Adventures in Equatorial Africa. Du Chaillu refers to the ape as Koolakamba based upon his description of words used by the indigenous peoples in the region of the Ovengi River of West Central Africa, which in modern times are areas of Cameroon and Gabon. The people allegedly referred to the ape as Kulu because that is what its unique vocalization, quite unlike the vocalizations of other apes in the area, sounded like according to them. Kamba, apparently, is a Komi word meaning to speak. The Koolakamba is believed to be larger, flatter-faced, larger skulled and more bipedal than most chimps. According to Du Chaillu, the physical characteristics described for the Koolakamba include a short and broad pelvic structure, large supraorbital ridge, high zygomatic ridges, less prominent muzzle, dentition in which the upper and lower incisors meet squarely forming a grinding surface, and a larger cranial capacity than that of other common chimpanzees. Although there has not been a documented sighting of the Koolakamba or proof of its existence in modern times, in 1881 Coppenfields indicated that it does indeed exist, stating, "I believe it is proved that there are crosses between male troglodytes gorilla and the female troglodytes niger, but for reasons easily understood, there are none in the opposite direction. I have in my possession positive proof of this. This settles all the questions about the gorilla, chimpanzee and Koolakamba, etc." Quite what this supposed evidence was is not disclosed, and nothing relevant pertaining to the existence of this mystery ape would come forward until the 1990s. According to a post on the Primate Information Network's website from some time in the 90s, Koolakambas were apparently held in captivity in the United States. The taxonomic work on chimpanzees by anatomist W.C. Osman Hill, in which he identified the Koolakamba, had been conducted at a research laboratory in Alamogordo, New Mexico. Although his description of the Koolakamba vastly differed from that of Du Chaillu's, he argued that the face of the Koolakamba was extremely prognathic rather than flat, and with small ears rather than large ones. He asserted that his ape and Du Chaillu's consisted of a subspecies of chimpanzee. Dr. Elaine Struthers, who worked at the Coulson Foundation labs in New Mexico, claimed that their lab even had at least two Koolakambas in its possession before being closed in 2001. In 1996, a photograph was taken at the Yaoundé Zoo in central Cameroon of a dark-coloured ape which shocked both primatologists and travellers alike. With piercing orange eyes, dark skin and a square chiselled jaw, the ape appears to be unlike any other seen before. Described as a possible chimpanzee-gorilla hybrid, the ape is a taxonomic mystery to this day. Two questions surround the mystery ape from the Yaoundé Zoo. Is this ape and the apes of W.C. Osman Hill the same? And what exactly is the Koolakamba anyway? Although Hill describes the chimpanzees in New Mexico as Koolakambas, they may have been something else entirely. In the mid-1990s, wildlife photographer Carl Amann began looking for an alleged mystery ape located in a relatively unexplored area of the northern Congo. Purported to be immune to poisonous darts and to hunt lions, these apes were much larger than chimpanzees and nested on the ground, much like gorillas. Much excitement was built up around locating this ape, and then assessing its affinities, as some had suggested it may be a gorilla-chimpanzee hybrid. But in 2004, mitochondrial DNA revealed that apes were almost likely a subculture of the eastern chimpanzee. Curiously, although these chimps express a range of behaviours different from other chimps in the subspecies, and possess several of the facial features, including the supposed lack of prognathism, of the Yaoundé ape, There are some problems with identifying this species as the alleged Koolakamba. First, Du Chaillou's purported ape was found in West Africa, not in the northern Congo. Second, their social organisation seems to be typical in that they are still living in normal groups like other chimpanzees rather than being solitary. It must be noted at this stage that a genuine large ape that inhabits the northern reaches of the Congo may be part of the inspiration for the Koolakamba. Once thought to be cryptids, these animals, known as billy apes, have proven to be a particular large population of grey-coloured chimpanzees. Possessing a number of strange anatomical and behavioural features more like those of gorillas, including a more developed sagittal crest than other chimps and the tendency to build nests on the ground. Could these apes be the same as the Koolakamba? There are two ways we can look at the ape in the image from 1996. We can either assume that it, like the billy apes of northern Central Africa, is part of some yet undescribed subspecies of chimpanzee which has yet to be described by primatologists. If so, this would greatly expand our knowledge of chimpanzee variability, just as the billy apes are doing today. Or we can believe that this creature is a classical Koolakamba, a rare hybrid between gorillas and chimpanzees. I have several thoughts about this problem. My first is that this ape matches Du Chaillou's anatomical description almost perfectly. From its ears to its flat face, this does not look like any other subspecies of chimpanzee. The fact that we haven't seen any more of these since also leads me to assume that it's rare, just as a hybrid ape would be expected to be. Another thing is that if hybridization were going to happen anyway, it would be here. This area contains both the largest and least scientifically studied gorilla subspecies in the world, and is possibly the only area where the populations of gorillas and chimps overlap in large enough numbers to make hybridization even a possibility. There are numerous discussions of whether a chimpanzee-human hybrid would be possible. Although we might think this is a non-scientific matter to speculate about, and molecular science isn't far enough to just give us an answer outright, the existence of a chimpanzee-gorilla hybrid would settle the question entirely. Chimpanzees and humans split from one another approximately 7 million years ago, and from gorillas maybe 9 million years ago. This means that chimps and humans are more closely related to each other than they are to gorillas. If chimpanzees and gorillas could hybridize, it's fairly sure humans and chimps could too. And on that disturbing note, I'll have to conclude this mystery. Next week, I'll be covering the early Oligocene fossil record of Alter Earth North America. See you again soon. Cheerio.